Hello everybody and welcome to Malts and Meeples. I am Petter, and if you've watched the last 7-8 videos that I've done, that was all about getting rid of games from my collection. Now, I actually have added a few more to the pile. I think I'm up to 53, 54 games, including one I played recently and reviewed today over on nerdologist.com, Foodies. But off to this side here, you can see one of the boxes on the table. I have a whole bunch of games here that have come in. So, before we get to that, let's take a little sip. Make sure everything is up and working. That looks good to me. So, I center myself up here. Thank you everybody for joining in. Who's going to check this out now or after the fact? Let me know what you think of what I have coming up here. So, I want to do something something that I've seen Board Game Co. do when he does his unboxings of specific games. And that's gonna pick a topic and do a little rambling with it as I open up everything in here. But honestly, I forgot some of the stuff that I even ordered. So we have some surprises here. This is an order I did from Miniature Market. Okay, one game that I thought was coming, one expansion, actually already had come. So, we have the Exiles and Partisans deck. Don't know what this adds. Looks like a new deck of cards. And actually, topic for today is going to be talking about lifestyle games. Mainly because a Fatal Paper Cut and I were chatting about that over on Discord through the Glory Hound Discord server, and about how we have a lot of lifestyle games between us. And one that I mentioned that is a lifestyle game that might not be as obvious is going to be Root. Root, well, before we talk too much about why Root's a lifestyle game, let's talk about what a lifestyle game even is. I'm going to start to set some of these things out. Next up, we have Paper Tales. So I believe this is a deck building style of game where you're getting cards that kind of help you tell a story. I really like the artwork on the front. And on the back, the cards does not look too bad. This is not a lifestyle game, that's for sure. But what is a lifestyle game? Before I pull out the last game from this box, a lifestyle game is going to be one of those games that you can play and play and play and play and play. Now, most commonly you think of stuff like campaign games because, well, a campaign takes a while to get through. So something like Gloomhaven, Sword and Sorcery, Solomon Kane, Madara, which I think the Pledge Manager is opening soon again for Madara, which might be dangerous because I might pick up Act 2 and 3. But got myself a big rolling right here. But Root is a lifestyle game for me, or at least for my understanding of the game. Now, if you have a group or enough people who know Root, then it doesn't have to be a lifestyle game. If you have 8, 9, 10 people who know it, it means you can get it to the table every once in a while. But that, I don't think, is the normal kind of way that people play Root. I think that most groups, you have 4 people who know how to play Root. And then that group is the one that gets together regularly, even if it's 2-3 times a year, to play Root because, well, they're the only ones who know how to. And I mean, it makes sense to me because Root is a very tricky game to be able to learn. Well, not so much learn. So I don't actually think Root is that difficult a game to understand what you're doing in it. I think that it's more difficult to teach, because you have to know what everybody is doing. And, well, I think that's a little bit, sorry. I think that's a little bit trickier to do. So, Root, with the different factions, even the base factions in the game, you're probably spending 10-15 minutes per faction. Well, let's say 10 minutes per faction to teach. So 4-player game, that's about 40 minutes. Plus then there's probably another 10 to 20 minutes of teach overall. And yeah, I got Hadrian's Wall. A monster. I mean, I have a Euro game that's lighter than this beast. But, as I was saying, Root just takes so long to teach that it almost has to become a lifestyle game for a group. Let me grab 2 things here. No unboxing on this one. Just picked it up recently. Marvel Champions Sinister Motives. And I'm really excited, just to bounce back to Hadrian's Wall here for a second, I'm really excited to play that one. I know that it's been one that has been talked about a bit on the Glory Hound Discord server with Fatal, myself. Can't even... Yeah. Maybe Nos talked about that one, Nosferatu Clown, over on that Discord server as well. But it's a roll and write. I'm going to try it. And if you saw my backer brick, which is basically a series that I do over on nerdologists.com every Wednesday, or most Wednesdays, take a look at a Kickstarter game found. And I actually am backing a roll and write currently there, Flip Town, which I'm backing it for the physical copy of the game, mainly because it comes with a pretty cool looking set of playing cards. And yeah, Nos loves his roll and writes. Definitely ask him if you head over to the Glory Hound Discord server or Glory Hound YouTube channel. There'll be a link for the Discord server over there. Ask him his favorite roll and write games. He will appreciate that. He always loves to talk about them. Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, Flip Town on Kickstarter, $25. I think $36 with shipping. So $36 with shipping is going to be more expensive than what you would pay for it at retail. But if you want to help support a smaller company, definitely check out that one. I said oh no because these. At this point in time, I can only assume... I don't think anybody's buying these guys new. The bubble pack packaging has to be cheaper. And it's recyclable. Oh, yes. Speaking of roll and writes, roll and write and a party game. Order that I did through Colossal Games, but not a game of their own. Two actually from... Ooh, nice. Same box size for both of them. Two of them from a Norwegian company. Because I have to represent my heritage here. So Scandinavian, because as Fatal knows, I'm 100% Swedish. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. 100% Norwegian. But new company, Chili Fox Games. The first one, I'm gonna go with the party game first, is Doodle Dash. Doodle Dash is a 3 to 7 player game. Nice. Oh, funny. They even have a chili rating on the back here for like how difficult the game is. But Doodle Dash is going to be a game where you try and be the person to draw a picture the fastest. And the trick is, so like the person who's it is going to kind of pick a word. So in some ways this, pick a word, but they don't know what it is. And then everybody else draws as fast as possible. The first person, can barely see it on here, they grab this little totem thing and their picture will be the first one to be used to try and guess that word. The second person is going to grab the die and roll it as fast as they can until they get it to land on stop. And then at that point in time, everybody else is done drawing. So the first person gets to show their picture to the it person. And if the it person guesses correctly, both of them get points. Then the second person, assuming the first one wasn't enough, or was slightly worse drawn than that bicycle, then the second person's gets flipped as well. So the guesser now has both of them to look at. Telestrations and Stay Cool. I'm not familiar with Stay Cool. Or maybe I am. Have they played that one on the Dice Tower where you're having to pay attention to like directions from two different groups of people? Welcome, Nas. Don't read up above in the chat. We promise we're telling the truth about your love for roll and write games. But this one I'm excited, so I'm definitely pulling this one out for game night coming up here soon at the start of May. So actually I think it's a couple weeks still because of how May lines up. Then we have Riverside. Riverside is going to be another roll and write game. I was going to say too much information, Nas, but that's the amount of information I expect from you. So this is going to be a roll and write game where you are traveling, or you're filling in your sheet over here, as well as then there's a boat, I think it's right here in the picture or so, that is traveling up and down the river. And the boat, I think how it works is the boat goes down one way, up the other way, and that determines kind of the stops and places that it goes. So not only you're thinking about, okay, what goods or passengers are I putting on my boats, but you also are thinking, okay, how far down the river do I want to move because I can come back, or you come back up the other side, so once you pass something, you can't go back to it. At least that's my understanding of it. So it's a roll and write that I'm very curious to try, and generally has had very good reviews while being pretty hard to get. The other roll and write that I really should pick up is Long Shot. That one I've been hearing amazing things about, but just in a miniature market order and ordered paperback. Why didn't I put Long Shot in instead? Probably because if I had more than 2 roll and write games, I don't think there's a roll and write in that box. I know there aren't in those boxes. If I had more than that for roll and write games, Nas would probably come and take me out of the kneecaps. So this one, there is writing, but not roll and writes. No Massive Darkness 2, but after this box, everything is Marvel United X-Men. Stop brandishing the knife slightly towards the camera. But this box is from Board Game Tables. So I just opened one from, Fun Again, who distributes for Colossal, that had all the packing peanuts in it. Board Game Tables, that's all the extra packaging they have. I love that. So, 2 games from this box. Both look very sharp. Yeah, Fun Again and their stupid packing peanuts. Hopefully they will eventually run out of them. I'm assuming they just have a warehouse full of them and are trying to work their way through. But the first game we have here is Ghosts of Christmas. And this one I almost backed on Kickstarter, but I'm glad that I didn't. Just because I could pick it up later. It was also part of, I think, a 3-game Kickstarter. I wouldn't intentionally threaten you with a knife, Nas. Unintentionally, most certainly, but not intentionally. But this is going to be a trick-taking game that's kind of based off of A Christmas Carol. Mainly the Ghosts of Christmas thing. Obviously you have your Scrooge and your ghosts here. But what's interesting about this one is you're playing 3 tricks simultaneously. Past, present, and future. And the tricks will go off in order of past, present, and future. And what was trump for the past, depending on what wins that trick, I think, can change what's trump for the future, and then change what's trump for, or change what's trump for the present, and then for the future. And yeah, it's just so intriguing. Plus you're bidding to see how many tricks you'll take, which isn't something I have a ton in my trick-taking games, though one of my favorite games to play with a deck of cards is going to be Euchre, which is very much bidding to see how well you do. So I'm excited to get this one to the table. I just need to find a time when I have 3 or 4 players, because and players who know trick-taking, because that's a little bit of a different animal, and especially if like Ghost of Christmas is going to be a slightly more complex trick-taking game. I don't think too complex, but slightly more. Then I'm going to want going to want people who know what they're talking about or know what they're doing for a trick-taking game. Tonight's drink, by the way, a Negroni. We're getting to nice weather here in Minnesota. So for some people that might be too cold. And, well, too cold, that's like 50 for a high today, which felt great. It's going to be in the 60s, 70s soon enough here. But warmer weather, Negroni weather. Let's get back to the topic a little bit, because as I get, well, the topic I talked vaguely about at the very beginning, lifestyle games, which Fatal is some of the reason why it's on my mind, is Marvel United, or Marvel United X-Men, both of them actually, are they lifestyle games? And, well, let's talk about one more game from Board Game Tables here. We have QE. QE stands for... It stands for something, but it doesn't say... Doesn't actually specify what. Yes, quantitative easing. So, or something like that. This is going to be a 3 to 5 player game where you're bidding for businesses and you can bid as much as you want. So there'll be a business that comes up, everybody writes down their bid, and some stock market term. I'm not familiar with it. Be nice to have enough money to put into the stock market. But, well, I'm investing in Come On Kickstarters, or CMON Kickstarters. That's my investment strategy. Oh, it's a banking term, so probably something I should be familiar with, considering I work for a credit union. Granted, software side of things, so not the actual banking. But in this game, you bid on a business, and everybody does a blind bid, face down, and then like I said, I'm investing in CMON Kickstarters. They tend to hold their value, and if you get something that's really good, it's a solid investment. But you bid, the person, you see the highest bid only. You see what a company went for, and then another company is flipped over, and everybody bids on that one again. And you can bid whatever amount you want. And then at the end of the game, you see who has the most profit or the most money within their businesses, like who got the most of what they needed, and that person wins the game. Unless, of course, that person bid the most money overall for the stuff that they won. And in that case, they're automatically eliminated, and the next highest player goes. So, it seems really fun, really cool, fairly goofy, and I'm excited to try that one because I can imagine it being a little bit crazy to play. And just how high the numbers might get, because if I bid $1 million, then I bid $1 million again, I bid $1 million again, I bid $1 million again. Now, I'm getting every single business in there, and, well, I'm going to lose the game, but nobody else has any businesses, so might as well might as well jump in. Maybe you bid 1,000,001. Okay, well, now you're in there for 1,000,001. I have 3 things for 1,000,000, so I'm in there for 3,000,000, and you're gonna win. Except, okay, 1,000,001. Next person's like, well, I know Petter's at 3,000,000, so next thing that flips over, oh, the bid's 2,000,000. High bid's 2,000,000 because that's still below what I bid, but it's well higher to make sure that the next person gets that business. And it just goes out of control from what I've heard. And I'm excited to see if it actually does that for my group. Because I think I might have some people who may never get anything at least the first playthrough. There might be like, well, what does this play? This is another one that's going to come out on game night for sure. 5 players. So maybe earlier in the night, pull out that and see what happens. My video stream was buffering for a second there, which is why I was pausing. See if it was catching up. Looks like it is. Next up. This is not a board game. But this is my storage solution. Hopefully for Marvel United and Marvel United X-Men. And I've heard of people using this as a display/storage solution for these games. I might have even heard it first from either you, Fatal, or Nas. I feel like that's where I heard it first, and then it was repeated to me elsewhere. I'm going to pull out one of the 2 here. Come on, paper. Here, tape. This probably makes no sense to what this is, but plastic is probably fairly noisy. This is a makeup holder, actually. I think it's for whatever type of makeup you have. But there's enough depth in here that you can line up all your characters. And I mean, just thinking about it, that's probably 20 across. Oh, Nas, you almost got one for paint. Maybe it was you, Nas, who mentioned it on the Discord a while back that you had seen somebody who did that or used this for Marvel United. But I'm hoping that this will fit most of Marvel, or will fit Marvel United. There's a second one in the box that will fit Marvel United X-Men, and I can get rid of 2 fairly big boxes, and I can show off the really cool foundation sculpts. And yeah, this is going to go up on a wall. I have to figure out which wall in my game room it's going to go up on, but plan is to do that. And actually, secondary plan is I'm going to, because I mean, this is, come on, Simon. So probably should expect that they're going to put out a 3rd Marvel United at some point in time. I don't know who they go with at this point. They've done most of the main characters. I mean, I would buy and know a lot of secondary characters anyways, but they've actually done a fair amount of secondary characters, so it'll be down to tertiary characters and more. But I'm thinking I'm going to get little circular stickers and put all the characters, at least by game, into one and then the other, so that I can look at it and go, okay, I want to pull out Captain America. All right, let's Captain America C, going to be about there. When I'm done playing, I can put him right back in the right spot because I can see the name. Something like that I think could work. And yeah, well, come on, board games, as Madden are called. I can, well, I would say a Zombicide is a little bit, or well, a lot of that Call of Duty or Ghost Recon, Tom Clancy video game sort of thing, where they come out with a new version or two every year. Some of their other games, I feel like, I mean, Blood Rage was near impossible to come by for a while, which has never been an issue for Madden. You're never going to have any trouble finding Madden, that's for sure. So come on, we'll eventually bring everything back in and probably charge you twice as much as the original Kickstarter for it. And why it is an investment is that, well, if you got like all the Blood Rage stuff from the original Kickstarter, for a long time you could have sold that for like triple of what you paid for it. Now, there are some people who are catching on to that and sinking money into, like, well, 2 copies of Marvel United X-Men. And here we have the first box. Ooh. No, so that'd be awesome if you do some sort of label thing. I would most definitely be interested in that. So, box number 1 of 2 for Marvel United X-Men. I don't think I'm going to pull or show off all of the minis, but I am going to show off all the boxes, starting with Fantastic Four, and I am going to come back to minis, but I'm going to open up all the boxes just so I can stack them up. X-Men First Class. Oh yeah, I shouldn't have opened it. Well, I haven't taken off the shrink, so I haven't totally ruined the value of it yet. Oh, so you wanted to see... Well, let's also not forget, this is the original box for Marvel United X-Men. I have condensed my Marvel United X-Men down to 3 boxes. I do still have maybe the covers for the other boxes. Still, I was thinking about doing some sort of wall thing, which now that if I'm going to display the minis, I probably will put the box covers on the wall. And I can probably get it down to 2 boxes. And 2 boxes that are this size versus we're going to be seeing what the stretch goal box looks like in the other one. So we have Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah, that looks sweet. We have X-Force. Phoenix 5. I was pretty pleased I got it down to 3. I think Lanniston Studio Aniston over on the Glory Hound Discord. I think he got it down to 2. And I agree. There was only one mini that mattered, and that was GB Gambit. GB Gambit for sure. Then we have Days of Future Past, which comes with some giant sentinels. I will show those off too because that's going to be cool. Let's see. So this is the core box right here. There's 2 boxes underneath it. And this whole box. Yeah, the sentinels are going to be the one thing that's hard to put on the shelf, but if I can get it so that I keep the sentinels in the sentinel box with some other things, then like one box for all of the character cards sleeved, or character and villain cards sleeved, then I'm going to be pretty pleased. I'm not sure that's going to work because there are more characters in Marvel United X-Men, but we'll see. And this is the only game. Stop brandishing the knife at Nas. I know he doesn't like it. This is the only game that I have actually done sleeves for. The card quality it's not bad, it's just not great. Yeah, they have their own scenarios and everything like that. There's so much stuff. For Marvel United, I actually found that I can put everything into a single box for like all the scenario stuff like that, because there's just not that much. So we have our Deadpool on here with Lady Deadpool, a Hero Deadpool, a Villain Deadpool, a Challenge Deadpool, which looks like he could be either a hero or villain, or no, maybe, well, I have no idea what the Challenge Deadpool is. And then Bob, Agent of Hydra, who could either be good or bad, looks like. And yeah, there's so much air in the CMON boxes. I'm sure somebody has done a video on how to compact all this stuff down to like 2 boxes. I won't be surprised if somebody has a video and like a little storage insert where they can get everything minus like the minis. Minus the minis, those might have to be displayed. I know a ton of people are painting them, and I want to get good enough so that I can actually paint them, but yeah. Just think about it. A wall with some cool board game box covers, and then just a wall full of minis that I'm working on painting. See, somebody does have a video already on condensing it down. So we have our 2 special characters that you only got if you pledged at certain levels, because spending all of the money means you get 2 more characters. We have Old Man Logan here and Storm with a mohawk. They're not even 2 characters that you didn't get at all in the game. Like in Marvel United, it was Adam Warlock and Yondu, and there was no other version of either of them. there's another Storm, and there's another... Well, I was going to say there's another Logan, but I think that there's 4 different versions of Wolverine in here. Something like that. Then we have the gold team, because you can do team versus team now. Oh, bummer, he doesn't have one for Marvel United. Tell him to get on that, or I'm going to start stealing his thunder. So we have the gold team here with Archangel, Bishop, Colossus, Iceman. Ooh, I'm going to have to show off that many. And Forge. Then we have, pull out, this is bigger, slightly, than the Marvel United box. That's all the stretch goal stuff, which definitely has some things that we're going to have to look at in here. Some really cool minis. Looks like Cloak and Dagger, Gwenpool, Dupe. Don't even know what he's from. He looks more like he should be part of Ghostbusters. Yeah, there's so many versions of just Deadpool in the Deadpool box. And finally, the box that we've all been waiting for. So I'm just going to show little box. Oh, Fantastic Four. That's right. So, little box. So, again, this is the base box. There are 2 small boxes underneath this. That is the stretch goal box, which is at the top. You can't even see the top of this. I don't think it's quite as tall as my toddler, but everything stacked together might be fairly close. Well, you have to bust open this box. For sure, this one. Probably more. Probably at least a couple more boxes, just to see some of these minis. But to bounce back to the topic, I'm so glad you're planning on my imminent demise. It's probably accurate. I will say, consider this before you decide anything. I didn't get the cardboard location tiles, so these guys, and I didn't get the upgraded tokens because that is bananas. I do have, I think coming Friday, I think it's Friday, I do have a game mat for this because it just makes it easier to track everything. So, I have the blue team here. So you can do a team versus team, I think up to 8 players. We have Mr. Sinister. And this is pretty sure I know. Yep. Psylocke. One of my favorite X-Men of all time coming up here. Jubilee. I had to look up this one. Oh, yep. Yep. Banshee. Rogue. And obviously you guys know. You guys know who I kept for last. But before I show him off, Jubilee is awesome. But before I show off this last character, is Marvel United a lifestyle game? And I don't think it is. I think even with a bajillion tons of plastic and minis and cards that I have for this game, I can still pull it off the shelf and play with anybody at any time, which I don't think... I mean, come on, Kickstarters, that's a lifestyle, period. But I don't think Marvel United is a lifestyle game. Even with a bajillion things, you can still play it with anybody, whenever. So I'm never going to specifically set aside a time to play it, unless maybe we set up 3 tables and be like, all right, game night, Marvel United. And the moment that I have been waiting for, that Fatal has been waiting for, there we have him. Throwing his freaking playing cards. They won. The only No, anybody can be Batman. Gambit's Batman. That is such a cool sculpt. And he's even kicking off like a... you can kind of see it maybe under there. A fire hydrant. This is why I need to get good at painting. Maybe that's what I should have been talking about. I mean, at least I know... I don't think... Fatal, do you paint all that much of your minis? Or are you like me, somebody who runs mainly with gray plastic? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure, Nas, you paint... Well... By pretty sure, I mean, I absolutely know that you paint. So, I need to learn. I need to learn so I can paint Marvel United. And if I don't get good enough at it, I need my wife to learn so she can paint Marvel United. Because she probably will have more skill than I do with it. But let's pull out this box here. So you haven't recently, anyways? Yeah, so that is very true. Fatal, I agree. That is the one nice thing potentially about painting chibi figures and superhero figures. You tend to have pretty big blocks of color. A little bit less detail work. Contrast paints would be terrible. Good to know. I haven't actually looked into contrast paints, but all the stretch goal minis. Bottom section is just cards, but not in a way that you can actually store them if you have sleeves. Which is fine because it's a pretty chintzy insert. Oh, they'd end up too blotchy with contrast. Huh. Good to know. I'm looking for a specific character. Ooh, you will do. Oh, interesting. So the contraster speed want more detail. And they're smooth, but... Huh. This is one cool thing that CMON has done. Those little fire bits with translucent or okay, good. They did give me 2 spots in here. Don't ask me why X23 is jumping out of fire, but it's a cool look. Little Lockheed right here. I will find the box that has Iceman in it and open that one up here in a moment. But yeah, that resin, or what, I mean, I'm assuming you know better. Yeah, the little dragon's name is Lockheed. There's dupe. Alright, let me... Dupe, get back in your spot. Then... That. A whole bunch of villains. Top here. Most importantly... Alright. This is going to be noisy. Yeah, the green stuffs. I know that I've heard, it might have been you, Nos, talk about it, or maybe Fatal, you shared something about it. It definitely sounds cool. Alright. We're looking for what? Agent Venom? You don't like Agent Venom? Agent Venom is great. Alright. Iceman. Iceman. The Iceman cometh. I like on the back of these boxes, they say, hey, you need an expansion to be able to, or you need the base game to be able to enjoy this expansion. Okay, fair. That I can understand how not knowing about Agent Venom would maybe mess some stuff up. Mess up some knowledge. So, start here. Cable. Nope, not Cable. Bishop. That's Bishop, right? Yes, that is Bishop. Let's try that again. Yeah, oh yeah. Agent Venom is close to spawn as we get. We have a Colossus. Though, Forge? Oh yeah, that was Forge. Never mind. Should have known. I know Bishop has longer hair. That's Bishop. So there's a Todd McFarlane character. Angelica? Or something like that came over to Marvel. Of course, we have pretty nice Angel there. Villain, Sebastian Shaw. You're not the cat that people want to see on stream. And I need to actually... We have Iceman here. And he looks okay on stream. He actually only looks okay in person, too. I think that the accent stuff works better than just all of this transparent, translucent stuff. Like, he looks cool. You know that he's Iceman immediately. And good news, guys. I have finished painting one already. Well, I mean, technically I probably should paint the base. But the detail... The detail is just okay. That's what it was. Angela, she's allowed to play with Marvel stuff. But I think there's potentially talk that Angela is going to show up in like a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, potentially, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that Iceman is a little bit disappointing because as compared to like some of the other other characters that have a little bit on them, and of like that translucent. It's just all translucent, so you lose a lot. And let's pop down a couple more here. Gotta wrap up the bottom here. Or gotta wrap up the stream here with... Actually, this one is less interesting than you'd think. Only Namor has like some translucent with water on his base. So let's finish off with something big. Literally. Yeah, you just don't... You lose any detail Iceman has on his face with it. Like the rest of the sculpt, kind of the motion of it, it works, but... The rest of it is just okay. Oh, Galactus Zombie cameo. I wish. I am nowhere near cool enough for Come On to have sent that to me. I still want Come On to give me a scenario where I can use giant Galactus, which honestly is the real thing. Like that's the... Oh, maybe some cosmic things are missing from Marvel United, and that's about it. But let's do a refresher. A little refresher here. Wolverine. Cool. Pretty good size there. Oh, we have a guy who's slightly bigger here. Nimrod. Pretty big villain. Cool little base. Like, I love this accent stuff. It's going to be a pain in the butt to get down there with paints. But it looks pretty cool. Now remember, these guys, for scale. Sentinel 1. Sentinel 2. And Sentinel 3. Yeah, this is ridiculous. So, let's bring back the larger of the other two minis. There we got Nimrod. I mean, pretty close in size. I mean, they're not too different in size. And then Wolverine. I mean, he can reach up to his knee. Well, head height at the knee. These are ridiculous. And yeah, these will most definitely not fit in that makeup holder. Oh my goodness, these are... Well, just so you know, if you get this, like the insert, because of the weight of these guys, is absolutely trashed. But they're so cool. And yeah, they're solid. Those are... Yeah, those are solid. Like you can see maybe here how much it's cut in. Like, this doesn't even fully do it justice. It's ridiculous. But Fatal, yeah, I totally get not being into this one. For me, it works pretty well. And it works because of the fact that I can grab it off the shelf and play with anybody immediately. Yeah, so let's do 2 more as I finish up here. And I will say, if you're judging it only off the base box from Walmart, unfortunately, that's not where the game shines. The base boxes make the game very accessible to everybody because it's characters that they recognize. But they also tend to keep those characters the most tame or straightforward in how they play or what they do. So it's not that interesting to those of us who are heavier gamers. But when you have everything with the Kickstarter, you have so many different villains, and the villains operate in such different ways. So if you go back on my channel, you can see my playthrough with Green Goblin and the Into the Spider-Verse box, which you can actually get retail, at least on Amazon. I think this pledge was just shy of $500 with shipping. And a playmat. And the playmat is barely going to fit on my game table. But you can get the Into the Spider-Verse, which I believe comes with the Green Goblin. And that plays so different. And that's what really makes the game. And it's not like the heroes are bad. The heroes definitely are different. Here we have our good old friend, Old Man Logan. Most currently that I've pledged for a game, I think is Marvel United X-Men, to get everything for that. That is probably going to change with Marvel Zombies, but Nas, is that actually true? I don't think that's actually true for you. I thought you went all in on Marvel Zombies. Maybe I'm wrong with that. I think there might be a Bone Claw version. We have a nice Storm with a mohawk here. Okay, so you backed off of the Galactus. And Marvel Zombies will probably end up being that or Madara. I probably have to make a decision which one of those I want to back. Which one I want to try and track down and pick up later. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely Command stuff that's been the highest. Even the level I got ISS Vanguard at, or Frosthaven. Well, I was at the highest level for Frosthaven, but the people I play it with also chipped in money, so I don't count that one. And that still wasn't nearly as high. ISS Vanguard wasn't... I think, yeah, so I want to say Marvel Zombies is pretty high. Oh yeah, the base box for Kingdom Death Monster is ridiculous. I keep on looking at that one to potentially get into it because I have an addiction to lifestyle games and that's expensive. But I mean, it's also so hard. It's really hard to judge right now, like what my most expensive Kickstarter is, because right now I think without Galactus, Marvel United X-Men is probably still my most expensive, even if it costs less to back than Marvel Zombies, just because of inflation and shipping costs going up. And it's just, I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. Oof, I didn't know that KDM put out something, so Kingdom Death Monster put out something where they were offering STLs for 3D prints for some of their models, because yeah, that would definitely piss some people off, because it's like the Gambler's Chest or something like that that has been in works for ages now. That still hasn't released yet from 1.5. So yeah, I can imagine people being a little bit pissed for sure. I mean, you get it through a Patreon that you probably have to be a Patreon for at a fairly decent dollar amount. But and yeah, they're releasing stuff, or some of the stuff, over time. So yeah, you probably end up paying about the same amount, but I'd still be pissed because I'm dropping all the money at once, and versus somebody who's doing a little bit over time. So yeah, that's an interesting choice, but that's also things that board game companies need to be doing right now. Not to get too far off the topic, but I know with Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor, I think Fatal, you backed that one as well. But and I know for sure Glory Hound did. But they offered a $20 pack of like 20 cards, which is terrible value. But that they print and ship later, so that it could help offset their shipping costs. Like there's Academy Games who did Eldorado, I believe it is, and newest one was, or no, it's not. Is it Academy Games? The newest game was Legends Academy, so I don't think it's Academy Games. I think it's a different company. Newest one was Legends Academy, and that one they off so Fatal, Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor, and Legends Academy. Yeah, you just missed the wrap up, but I was just talking about how a number of Kickstarter companies are having issues delivering. Not delivering, but Eldorado Games. There we go. Thank you, Studio Aniston. But they sent out an update probably for basically all of their things that they've kickstarted to this point, to be like, hey, you can buy a card pack to offset shipping. And I'm trying to think, there's another one too. Board Cubator offered like some merch of like I think they did coloring pages as well as like some clothing stuff. And basically these companies are trying really hard to figure out a way to offset their shipping. Think for Eldorado Games, it was something like $240,000 that they had to offset in shipping. And even if they're doing a $20 game pack, oh my goodness, that is absolutely absurd. Into the Unknown made some. So, I mean, this is a little bit off the unboxing topic, but I think that this is something that a lot of people don't think about or don't realize with Kickstarters. I know that I think it's something like Anuki or something like that was on Kickstarter, is on Kickstarter now, where like people are pissed at the cost of the game. And so a game that I'm 100% for sure backing when it comes out, Anunnaki? Yeah, that's the one that people are pissed on. But a game that I'm 100% for sure backing when it comes out at the start of August here, and actually just over a month, I'm going to be doing another live stream of it. Might not be on my channel, but with a few other content creators for Rogue Angels. That, yeah, board game prices, especially in the world of Kickstarters, where oh, nice. Yeah, Nas. I'm going to be wrapping up the stream in like 5 minutes because I'm also going to be watching Moon Knight. But board game prices are going up. There's no way around it at this point. Shipping prices are going up. Then there's no way around it. And anybody who's pissed off about that, I don't have that much sympathy for, because you have to look at, I mean, if you look at inflation just itself, it's obvious that you're not going to get a deal like Mix and Minions anymore. But that's all I'm going to say on it at this point, because there are other people who are way more connected into publishing and stuff like that who have talked about it than I have, so I recommend them. Even Jesse from Quackalope, definitely check out his coverage on this. Just frustrates me when I see people who are like, well, why don't I have 200 minis for $100 anymore? It's like, well, that's never going to happen. It's the same reason you don't have a dozen eggs for 50 cents anymore. But with that, thank you everybody for watching. Sting Aniston. Go back to the beginning. I unbox a whole lot of games. But I hope to see you next time I stream. That I think it's going to be on Monday. We'll have to see. But, it's gone at this point. I have a sip left. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe. Click that notification bell. It works for everybody except a Fatal Paper Cut. And see you next time. Bottoms up.